Good afternoon. Mm. Just got done with a group conscience. A group conscience. Ow. That was my kneecap. Oh, I swear to God, this camera is a piece. I know my sound is different. It's going to be different for a little bit. Oh, not auto. Let's go to a standard. Um, the cord. The cord broken. Hey, put it in the white so you can see it. Right, broken. Yeah, I think I'll gotta buy a new one. I think I have an extra one around. So the good thing, this is actually what I was scared of. You see where it goes in there. I'm just glad that it didn't, because there's a part of it missing. So I'm like, oh crap, did it get stuck in there? Because then that would ruin it. So, all right, so we're gonna be in the 12 by 12. I'm sure you care so much about my equipment, but I think at this point the group is gonna need to get their own equipment because. I got shit I could donate actually. All right, so let's do some introductions. It looks like we had some people here, but who knows? Yay. All right. So I was doing something earlier because I went to the summer jams yesterday and turned out okay. You know, I met a few people, reminded some other people that I'm still around. Um, did a little bit of healing. I gave one guy a massive amount of crap. I never said my name, so I don't know if he figured it out or not. Welcome to the page 77. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. Oh, so I was commenting on a post of Jasmine. She's the one that put it out, and I tried to put at Club Trudge, but it won't let me do it because I don't have more than 100 followers. Yeah. So yeah. So we're gonna be in step 8 in the 12 by 12. Meow. Yes. Depending on which one meows, I can tell you which cat it is. I know their meows. That's his I need attention meow. I need some attention. So let's get started on this. We're gonna, according to this, we want 77 and 87. So I'm gonna read 77 and then we'll go to 87. Step 8. Steps 8 and 9 are concerned with personal relations. First, we take a look backward and try to discover where we have been at fault. And that was in steps 4 and 5. Next, we made a vigorous attempt to repair the damage we'd done, 6 and 7. And third, having cleaned away the debris of the past, we consider with our newfound knowledge of ourselves, we may develop the best possible relations with every human being. See, by this time, a lot of things. Are you comfortable there yet? Okay. All right. Wouldn't want you to be uncomfortable, Keaton. Um, we develop the best possible relations with everyone around us, right? This is a very large order. It is a task which we may perform with increasing skill but never really finish. Okay, so we get better at it. Okay, and what is it that we're getting better at? You might want to answer that. Not taking other people, not being judgmental of other people, understanding that other people in the world are going through shit just like you, that they're spiritually ill just like me. Okay, but we're never going to finish it, and that's okay. You can't finish it. Okay. Learning how to live in the greatest peace, partnership, and brotherhood with all men and women of whatever description is a moving and fascinating adventure. And it is an adventure. It is. You ever do those create your own adventure books? It's a lot like that. Yeah. So you get choices. You get choices as long as you stay open minded. God's going to give you choices. And sometimes you get to choose between two good things. Every AA has found that he can make little headway in this new adventure of living until he first backtracks and really makes an accurate and unsparing survey of the human wreckage he has left in his wake. Okay. Now, now we have a responsibility. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now we say to take responsibility, but I'm going to tell you it's a debt. I am in debt to my society. Why? Right here, to the degree we now attempt to of the human wreckage I left in my wake. There it is. And that's what I'm going to have to take responsibility for. And when I take responsibility for these things, it creates justice. Uh, to agree, he's already done this when taking a moral inventory. But now the time has come when he ought to redouble his efforts to see how many people he has hurt and in what ways. This reopening of emotional wounds, sometimes old, some perhaps forgotten, and some still painfully festering, will at first look like a purposeless and pointless piece of surgery. But if a willing start is made, then the great advantage of doing this will so quickly reveal themselves that the pain will be lessened as one obstacle after another melts away. There we go. These things melt away. My problems become less. You know, I get to a point in my life where a problem will come along and I can handle it maturely because I have the tools and because I have been practicing this over and over and over. Is it always going to work out that way? No, it's not. That's why we never really finish. See, we're also human and we're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And then what we need to do first is recognize that we made a mistake. All right. You better get that bug. It's your job. All right. We're going to go to 87 now. It's the very last. There we go. Okay. I'm going to start at the top of page 86. There can only be one consideration which should qualify our desire for complete disclosure of the damage we have done. So, I just saw your message too. Good on you. Good job. That's awesome. I'm at the house. It's the only part I saw. So, um, there can be only one consideration which should qualify our complete desire for disclosure of complete of damaged goods have been done. This will arise in the occasional situation where to make a full revelation, now they're talking about sex, um, which kind of goes out from this, but we're here, so um, where to make a full revelation would seriously harm the one whom we are making amends, or quite as important, other people. We cannot, for example, unload detailed account of extramarital adventuring upon the shoulders of our unsuspecting wife or husband. And even in those cases where such matters must be discussed, let's avoid harming third parties, whoever they may be. It does not lighten our burden when we recklessly make crosses of others heavier. Um, when it comes to, and that's why we got to go through them kind of individually. Um, I'm gonna use my biological father. I'd never met him, right? But what my sponsor said was, Dion, he's remarried. These people may not know about you, and it is not for you, even though you feel like you have the right, for you to disrupt his life, right? I had to let my father make that decision. He did end up telling his wife. I think she's still alive. I don't know. So what I ended up doing is I wrote him a letter straight to him for his eyes only. I did a written letter. He wrote me back too. I don't know where it is because it was. I don't think I kept it because it wasn't very nice, right? But what it comes down to is this: I cannot hurt other people to make myself feel better, man. And I'm gonna be honest. I am glad that I did not have any extramarital stuff. I'm so thankful of that. Thank you, God. Many a razor edge question can arise in other departments of life where the same principle is involved. So, suppose, for instance, that we have drunk up a good chunk of our firm's money, whether by borrowing or on a heavily padded expense account. Suppose that this may continue to go undetected if we say nothing. Do we instantly confess our irregulars to the firm in the practical certainty that we will be fired and become unemployable? Are we to be so frigidly righteous about making amends that we don't care what happens to the family or home? Remember when we were drinking, when I was drinking, I found out that my actions were they were affecting everybody in my life. My actions affect others. So I have got to be careful with my intentions. It's my intentions that drive things. And when I have the wrong intentions, I end up hurting people. And it still happens to me. I don't do it on purpose, but it does happen. Um, or do we first consult those who are to be gravely affected? That might be a good idea. Go to my wife. Hey, you know what? I stole a bunch of money. I need to make this amends, but if I go, it's going to affect you. What do you think? How do you feel about this? Okay. I wouldn't go make a huge purchase without talking to my wife first. Besides, she's got the card. Do we lay the matter before our sponsor or spiritual advisor? Yes, we do, and God. Meanwhile, resolving to do the right thing when it becomes clear, cost what it may. Okay? We do not say no never, but we can be willing. We can be willing See, I have found that once I've become willing to take care of it, that God tends to put me in a situation that makes it done right the right way. And that's what's so powerful about it. Okay. My older brother Scott flat out said, okay, I didn't even ask him yet. Flat out said, I'm not doing your amends. I don't want to sit down and do that with you. Okay. I wasn't even to the ninth step yet. So what do I do there? I just I just be a better person. Every time I see him, I have a good conversation with them. I enjoy it and make it better. That's the only amends I got left. Now I'm willing to take care of that if he changes his mind. Yes. Of course, there may be no pat answer which fit all such dilemmas, but all of them do require a complete willingness to make amends as fast and as far as may be possibly given in a given set of situation conditions. All right, before I read this last paragraph, I am responsible when anyone anywhere reaches out for help. I want the hand of AA to be there, and for that I am responsible. Okay? Now I'm going to read this. Above all, we should try to be absolutely sure that we are not delaying because we are afraid. For the readiness to take full consequences of our past acts and to take responsibility for the well-being of others at the same time is the very spirit of step 9. I love this last part. And to take responsibility for the well-being of others. So, what does that mean to me? What does that mean to Dion? It means that if I see somebody out there floundering, hurting, and I know that I can do something about it, I'm now responsible. That's how I feel. Okay. That's how I run things. If I see somebody else hurting and I know that I can do something about it, it is now my responsibility. That's it. Now, why can I do that? Because you got to get to a certain place first, right? First, I had to take responsibility for my actions, for my feelings. Last but not least, the most important one, my triggers. I am my own safe space, right? So when I see things out there and I know that I can do something, I've got to be responsible. Okay. Does that mean I can do anything about it? You might. You might be able to do something about it. Oh no, ask God, ask your sponsor. Because once you become a recovered alcoholic, there's a lot of things in this world that you can change, including other people. You have the power to make unwilling people willing. You have that power. Okay. Now that power comes from doing a good job, following a few simple rules, and it's a gift from God because he is saying, he or she or it or whatever is saying, I trust you with my children. And if you're a parent, imagine how your higher power may feel about that, right? How do you feel when your child does something you just kind of been waiting and it happens like yeah, or their first words when they start talking and becoming their own person. Now imagine your higher power having to watch me do all this stupid shit, right? To find him. So I turn around and do the right thing and see, I am not being the man I'm supposed to be. I am not being the person that I'm supposed to be. Now I am. And because of that, I am trusted. I'm respected. Well, you know, I'm responsible for the most part. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm most likely going to do it. Doesn't happen all. Sometimes things still happen. Okay, but life gets better. Um, I've had a lot of successes this last month in getting out of the house and not going. "Ugh." It's been nice. I'm almost all the way off my meds. I have been so much happier. So much happier. So, all right. There's a bunch of girls coming over later. So I'm gonna go clean the house a little bit. Make it look a little respectable. It's be my wife and her sister and nieces and kids. And so I said, yeah, it's a bunch of girls. So I'm like, I ain't hanging out. I am trying to clean up a little bit. So, all right. Thank you everybody for being here. Oh, now we're at 3 people. Uh, we're at 3 people. I have no idea. I'd always pull out the big book. If you want to stick around, give me a thumbs up if you want me to do a little bit more for you. I'll do the flip open of the big book. The spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. Unless one's family expresses a desire to live upon spiritual principles, we think we ought not to urge them. We should not talk incessantly to them about spiritual matters. They will change in time. Our behavior will convince them more than our words. I'm going to rephrase that for me. Our behavior will convince them better. Absolutely, Trevor. You got it. Good to see you, brother. All right. They will change in time. Our behavior will. We must remember that 10 or 20 years of drunkenness would make a skeptic out of anyone. Okay. So when we're going there, I promise I'm quitting. I promise I'm quitting. I promise I'm quitting. Cart before the horse. Cart before the horse. Okay. We're at step 9 here. Okay. What's the difference between now and then? You did the work. You did the work. I didn't promise shit this time around. I didn't promise nothing. I had pinky swear because it didn't mean anything. 8 years ago, my pinky swear meant nothing. And in our family, between Shannon and I, that's a big fucking deal. That's like putting your soul on the line. Pinky swearing with us is like the ultimate. Now I can. Now I can do that. Okay. Did my wife and my kids follow me? Not really. Kinda. Not in the beginning. Well, in the beginning, my kids did go to some Alateen, but Alateen shut down. Okay. But now my wife goes to Al-Anon. There's some Alateen coming. See, I pulled a trick. I went and started a meeting. Now we all have to go. I love my family. And if it means that I have to fool them into getting well, I'll fucking do it. There may be some wrongs we can never fully right. We do not worry about them if we can honestly say to ourselves that we could right them if we could. Okay? Some people cannot be seen. We send them an honest letter. There may be valid reason for postponement in some cases, but we do not delay if it can be avoided. We should be sensible, tactful. Man, I had to learn tact. I had to learn tact. I did. That was a skill I did not have. And I very much had to learn that. Like, tactful would be like if somebody else is talking, I shut my mouth and listen. Let's say somebody is talking and they say something. Let's say they say, one thing, they meant another, but we both know. I used to interrupt them and correct them. I don't do that anymore. No. Why? You know what that was? That's mansplaining, man. That's me manipulating. I knew what you said. Now they'll do it and they'll be like, I meant this. I'm like, I know, no biggie. Keep going. Here's the best part though. Okay. So we should be sensible, tactful, considerate, and humble without being servile or scraping. I ain't about it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nope. That is not going to happen. Okay. As God's children, says people, we stand on our own 2 feet. We do not crawl before anyone. I will meet you where you are at. But I can tell you now, there's no lesser sign or greater sign in my life. You may know more something about something else than I do, and I may know more about something else than you do, but that's the extent of it. That's how we can help each other. All right. All right. Let's do the 9 step promises, and I'm gonna wrap up. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. Painstaking is key. Yeah, you just went through a lot of pain, huh? Qualifies you for something now. But see, you did this to yourself on purpose. There's a big difference when be changing because it hurts and changing because you know it's the right thing to do. Your life will change when you make the decision, hey, I'm a little too comfortable. Maybe I need to do something different. We'll be amazed before we are halfway through. Some people think it's the 9 steps. Some people think it's halfway through the steps. I believe it's halfway through the steps or some of this, because some of this happened before my 9 step. We're going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. That's the pink cloud. What is that? What it really should say is you are going to get a good night's sleep. Because that's what the pink cloud is. Good night's sleep. Your first one. And it's new. All right. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. That's a huge one. Why? Because your past is now gold. If I regret the past or shut the door on it, I do not have access to my experience to help other people. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. It's because I've let everything go. I'm no longer fighting. Okay. If I'm angry, I don't have serenity and peace. But when I'm not angry, that's pretty much how I feel. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. You know what's funny? Let me rephrase that. You know what's ironic? The further you've gone down, the more you can help others. That is not a challenge. Okay? That's not a challenge. Don't go make it worse so that you can be more. Just be more. Okay? Right? Everybody's got their place. Okay? If you're newer in the program, you can reach a newcomer better than I can. I'm going to believe more what you say than I do. Okay? No matter how far we can see it, that feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. Yeah, because now we're making coffee, we've got friends, we're laughing, we're going bowling sober, we're doing all these new things. Okay? And because of that, Because we go to meetings and we are doing these other things, we start to think of others, most likely the people around us. What we think is, gosh, my behavior was bullshit. I found that the one thing that tends to get an alcoholic sober is when they find out they're hurting everyone. That's usually the biggest reason. If you can get that through to an alcoholic, you may at least you might get them to a place of willingness. And if you can get them to a place of willingness, you can plant the seed. Self-pity will disappear because you're not doing stupid crap anymore. Self-pity will disappear because you're not putting a depressant down your gullet. Okay? All right. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Well, my selfish thing was drinking. Okay? That was replaced by the fellowship. Okay? What did I do? I made coffee. I cleaned the ashtrays. I cleaned the tables. I swept the floors. Anything that needed to be done, I did it. I still do it. There is no job too little or too demeaning in AA. It all counts. Self-seeking will slip away. Our motives change. Our intentions change. Where my motive was, I want to die and destroy as much as the world as I can before I leave. That's not even me. That's not even Dion. It is. It's the dangerous part of Dion. But when it comes down to it, no, it's not. Okay. Now self-seeking slips away because I found that I cannot keep this precious gift unless I give it away. Red hot chili peppers there. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away now. Give it away now. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. You're going to have a better attitude, man, because life's better. When you treat people better, your life becomes better. Right? This comes down to My Name is Earl. You ever watch that show? It's a comedy. Pretty funny. But here's the basics of it. Okay. My Name is Earl is about an eighth and ninth step, just so you know. Okay. So he wins a bunch of money and he's like, how come every time I do bad shit to people, bad things happen to me? So he decides that he's going to make a list of all the people he had harmed and he was going to make amends to them. And the basis of the show is this: you do bad things and bad things happen. You do good things and good things happen. That's most of what we're talking about. That's why your whole attitude and outlook upon life changed. Okay. And it comes back to that good night's sleep. You can see the forest for the trees. You remember when you found out the grass was green? Do you remember? It's not this hazy off blue, it's green. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. My brain wouldn't let me. Literally. I'll give an example to that. Have you ever been looking for something and you couldn't find it, but it was right in front of you the whole freaking time? Let me tell you what happened. You said you couldn't find it. So your brain made it true. It happened. You didn't see it. Literally. Happened to me just the other day. And soft. Thank you. All right. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. This one took the longest. Fear of people. Economic insecurity. I've always been broke, but yeah, fear of people. It was my PTSD. Okay. It wasn't really fear of people. I just these large crowds, all these emotions. trigger. So I had to be responsible for my triggers. Now I am. It's a lot easier for me to go out. It really is. I love this one. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. There's that intuition. You get your intuition back, and it's right again. The one thing that drove me crazy when I first got into the program, and I knew it, but every time I opened my mouth, I was wrong. Every time I opened my, remember that? No, that's just wrong. But I have to remember, all my thoughts got me here. So be wrong often. Because when you're wrong, if you're right and around the right people, then you'll get the right thing. Okay, then you'll get the right thing. But one day you'll just be like, holy crap, I handled that. Or people will come to you because you know how to handle problems better. See, a lot of people come to me because I look for solutions. I'll listen to your problem, but I will talk solution. Here's the best one, the bestest one of alls. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. And that's more than just, it started with the perfect release of alcohol. That's where it started. Then it was just one gift after another, one after another, right? You'll turn around one day and go, you know what? There's a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I am serene. And I'm serene. How the fuck did that happen? Are these extravagant promises? Nope. They're being filled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, but they will always materialize if we work for them. And it's true. I have watched. I've watched this happen for thousands of people. And I'm going to watch another thousands of people do it again, man. It's the highlight of my day. There's nothing better than going to bed at night knowing that just because I did something or said something, that somebody got through the day without a drink and was maybe nicer to their siblings or nicer to their spouse. It's Saturday. You worked your ass off all week, man. You deserve to be fucking happy. You really do. Okay? Now, if happiness was the goal, it'd be a lot easier. But happiness is a dividend for me. I found out that happiness wasn't the goal. It's a dividend. It's a dividend. So is gratitude. All right. Thank you everybody for being here. I went 45 minutes earlier. My friend Anissa was here. We were just yakking. It's usually what happens here. All right. I love you. I really do. Peace out and have a day.